So 2020, and
2020.
the game is?
The game is Infinite Recharge.
Infinite Recharge, and our robot is?
Named Vader.
Vader. Game was to pick up small balls. We were allowed to hold up to 5 of them at a time.
Yep.
And shoot them into a goal.
Power cell?
They were power cells,
Power cell.
and but they're basically small foam balls. One of the challenges of them is that they have an extremely high coefficient of friction between them.
Yes.
And so manipulating them through the singulator and the intake mechanism was particularly challenging.
Yep.
But we discovered that the balls were virtually identical to the balls that we were shooting in 2012, and we knew that we had a shooting mechanism for 2012 that was
Over 90%.
over
shooting
90%.
for the
So
season. Yep.
we actually copied that as our prototype, and it worked so well we kept it.
Yep.
And it is the spinning wheel with both a turret rotation ability, so that we could track the turret based on camera, as well as an adjustable hood that would adjust the angle. You won't be able to do that yet. But it uses a lead screw on a servo to control the angle of the hood, giving us extraordinary precision, using a camera to sight the target, and then adjust the hood angle and orientation to make a perfect shot. So that was pretty straightforward. We knew how to do that. The mechanism for moving the balls through the singulator was challenging, and we ended up using a series of belts and brushes. The brushes worked very well at separating the balls.
Yep. Giving a little gap.
And keeping them alone, and then the belts move in parallel so that they don't actually ask the balls to roll against each other, which they will not do. They just grip. The intake mechanism isn't on board because our last match we absolutely demolished it. This robot at the end game had a different challenge.
Yes. The end of the game, you and your partner robots had to do a pull-up on a bar that is parallel with the ground. But the bar is suspended at a fulcrum point, a single point. So as soon as one robot attaches to the bar has tilted.
And so the guy trying to pick up the opposite end
Has to be able to reach very high.
Fairly high, and then
So you get extra point. You get points for getting on the bar. Extra points for balancing it within a tolerance zone or a window.
So basically horizontal.
Basically horizontal. There was some leeway, I think, plus or minus a few
minus
degrees.
a couple of degrees.
But
and so our solution for that was to add a motor to our hook,
right.
So that once on the bar, we could traverse across the bar back and forth to find the balance point.
Absolutely, and it's similar to strategies we've taken in the past, where we try to anticipate what our partners are going to play, how they're going to think about the game. They're going to attach at a certain location, and they're going to get left there. That's where they're going to leave their robot.
And we'll make the adjustment.
And we wanted to be able to come in and say, hey, we will help this alliance get these extra points by being able to make the adjustment.
So pretty clever solution for that. Now this was an unusual season because obviously we started off quite strong. It was the first year that we didn't have a bag and tag obligation.
Yep,
So the robot was accessible for the entire season. Turned out that wasn't all that valuable because in the end, we made it through week 1. Some teams made it through week 2. And by week 3, when we were supposed to host, the entire season was canceled due to COVID.
Right. And
so that was the end of the season. There were no qualifications, there were no championships, there were no playoffs. We ended up using the robot for second year for 2021 for, again, essentially a totally virtual year where we were asked to do submission by video. Right. And not a very satisfactory solution for a competition. We went through the exercise. We actually had a couple of challenges. We were able to submit a game proposal for one of the challenges, and we actually did quite well on that particular challenge.
Yes.
Our game design committee came up with a novel game.
Nuclear knockout.
Nuclear knockout. And actually won an award for that, which I thought was pretty exciting. But both 2020 and 2021 were pretty much washout seasons for all of first due to COVID. We did a couple of things that were a little bit different that year. It was the first year we returned to a swerve drive. That is, wheels that are both steerable as well as drivable. Complicated driving algorithms required. Ends up working out extremely well, and we've continued to build swerve drives for the last couple of years.
Yep.
This was our first return to that. Pretty happy with how they turned out. Anything else on this robot that was exciting?
Like you said, I think we were one of the only teams to play an event around the nation.
We actually got to play one.
We did well at that event, and we were successful in getting a triple balance with our unique
climbing
unique adjuster. So
yeah,
that was
cool.
That was something to point to in this season, I